Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I just deleted the video that I was making for y'all. It was a remake of a video because instead of saying welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2, I thought I was on TikTok. So, now you're going to get two parts of my failed acting career. So this is part 1, and then there will be a part 2. Matter of fact, let me make sure my alarm clock is cut off because it's not, and it's going to fuck up my entire day. So, now that we got that out of the way, come on, get it out of the way. Alright, now, getting that out of the way. So we're going to talk about my failed acting career in a 2-part video. We're going to try to keep this at 15 minutes, okay? So that's going to be that. Now, in the first video that I deleted, I got to talking about everything under the sun. X-Men this, X-Men that. Why I haven't been able to get work because of my height, among other things. So that's kind of how that went to play. Now, I also had Googled all these heights and everything just went to hell in a handbasket in the video, so I deleted it. Then I made another video and I said TikTok instead of YouTube, so then I deleted it. So here we are. Now that I've covered everything and given you 99.9, now we can begin. So, I am a failed actor. Nice to meet you. I used to go by James Williams Jr. and now I currently go by my stage name of Echo Fan Grey Wolf. If you've been here, I've been going by this name for about 3 years, maybe 4 at best. Anyway, you can find me on TikTok under that same name of Echo Fan Grey Wolf, but it will probably be EFG616 or 928616. You can't miss me. I'm in that suit right there, being choked by a girl in a Spider-Gwen suit. Anyway, moving on. So, the point being made is that James Williams Jr. wasn't getting the acting work. And James Williams Jr. could have had an acting career had I did the wrong thing versus the right thing. And I don't like doing the wrong thing. So I did the right thing to the best of my ability. And so here I am. Because I'm not a pretendian, I have no work. Anyway, so here's how this works. Alright. When I started my acting career, I was in my 20s. I want to say 95, 96 is when I really started focusing on that. Because, let's see, how the fuck old was I? 96, 97. You see, there's a fucking calculator. 1997 minus 1973. It was 24 in 97, so it had to be 20. It had to be 96. Oh fuck, clear that. 6 minus 1973. What the fuck? Totally not the right calculation. 1996 minus 1973. Okay. So, it was definitely 96. So, Millennium came out in 1997. Matter of fact, how old was I in 97? So I was 24 in 1997, right? So what is 52 minus 24? So that says 28 years. So 52 minus 23. That says 29 years. Well, I know I wasn't into acting in 22. How old was I in 20? When I was 22? What year was that? 1994 minus 1973. Nope, because then I was 21, so it had to be 96, 95. 995 minus 1973. Okay, it had to be 94, 95. Motherfucker, I can't do math. God damn it. Okay. Hold on, I'm fucking up. 95 minus 1973. Because I was just out of high school. So it had to be 96. Because in 95 I was 22. Son of a bitch. I'm having a problem with calculators, y'all. Where's the minus thing? 1973. Okay, it was 96. Because in 93, 94, 95, I was trying to get into the UFC when I was young and healthy. And believed that I was tough. Anyway, no, I've always been tough. I've been a street fighter since I was 6. Okay, so I didn't move because New Millennium promised us in 97 that it's going to open up a movie studio. And if you were an actor from Virginia, you didn't have to leave. Unfortunately, I believe that shit. Now, to be clear, because of some time deficiencies or discrepancies, or my brain sucks, the movie Evan Almighty came out, and it was filmed mostly in Crozet. And at the same time, The New World or Conquest 1492, I get them mixed up. Whichever one had Christian Bale and Colin Firth play old-timey John Roth and John Smith. They filmed the movie. So had I listened to the Native American casting director that cut the line at the two guys in front of me, and then she goes, "Are you Native?" And I said, "No, ma'am, I have Native ancestry." And she goes, "Well, you look Native enough to pass. You need to move your ass on down to either North Carolina or South Carolina," I can't remember, "and go get on film." Now, my dumb ass didn't do that. We wouldn't be having this conversation if I did. We'd be having a different conversation as I had to fight to prove that I'm a Native. So I didn't do that. Because I'm also part black. I'm also part white. As well as part Native. And it would be a really bad idea to be a pretendian. So I didn't go with that. And I suffered. The long and short is I suffered. But I also thought that when Millennium opened up, it was going to give people like me a job. Alright? I was wrong, but I really thought it was going to give people like me a job because Daphne Maxwell Reid is mixed. I'm mixed. I'm like, okay, we got somebody who's mixed on the panel, so she's probably going to insist that her husband write a story about how it is to grow up being mixed. And again, nope. Big ass letdown. But Tim Reid was basically his own worst enemy because he did not make movies that everybody wanted to see. He made movies that he wanted to see, with the exception of that Thomas Jefferson shit and that police officer TV show. Now, had he went the way that most smart people would have done and made genres that everybody wants to see, he probably would have had the same success that Tyler Perry has had. Because Tyler Perry doesn't just cater to Tyler Perry. He caters to everybody. Tim Reid fucked up, and even though Tim Reid did it first, he fucked up. And he could have had everything that Tyler Perry has and more had he decided to not just say, "I'm going to make shit that I want to see." Which a lot of people do that, but when you have limited rotation of money or how to budget your shit, then you film what you can film. And to do that, sometimes you got to make sacrifices. I don't want to film this, I want to film that. Okay. But see, if you film this and it sucks, you'll have this filmed so that you'll have something else to offer. He also could have made deals with like Netflix and Showtime, because they were still doing the disc at the time then, before they started streaming. He could have had everything that he needed to have at the palm of his hands. The problem was that he did not manage his shit properly. And that actors like me who banked on him, if you weren't a SAG actor, you were a fucked actor. And I was pretty much fucked, because I didn't know about SAG until New Millennium opened up. Never heard of the Screen Actors Guild before. If that award ever came on, I never watched that shit until I was fucking forced to figure out what the fuck SAG was, and then the awards came on. I said, well, every actor and their mama's in this bitch. And that's literally the truth. But you gotta have $250 fucking dollars to spare to give it to them from your paycheck. Here lies the conundrum. You gotta be a working actor to pay those dues. And if you're not a working actor paying those dues, you're pushing burgers to pay those dues plus pay the rent. He eliminated the problem about having to move to California. At least that's what he said. And then he just didn't fall through with it. Yeah, which is how everything in my life went to hell in a handbasket, because I had nothing but hopes and faith on this man. It's like, oh, we're going to do it. We got a black man in charge. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to not do it. That's how that much went to hell in a handbasket. So I need to leave y'all with this so that I don't give you 15 minutes of bullshit. My acting career didn't take off because I didn't choose for it to take off. It didn't take off because I put all my eggs in one basket. Instead of going down to Screen Gems, which I was planning on doing, I decided that I'm going to put all my eggs in the Tim Reed Millennium basket, which fell off the wall like Humpty Dumpty and smeared everywhere. And that's how you have Echo Fang Grey Wolf versus James Williams Jr., who are both now currently unemployed and looking for acting work. Now, let that sink in. Because it's a fucked up situation, because, you know, when you are told this, you are promised this, and this man's made it. You know, he literally, WKRP in Cincinnati, Venus Flytrap, Sister, he was the daddy. He was the black guy that rode the bicycle that saved his friend. What the fuck is all I got. Because everything that could go wrong went wrong. So I'm going to leave you with that, because it sucks every time I think about where I could be now at 52, when I've had 30 plus years to get shit done, because I believed in this studio, I believed in this man, and here I am with nothing to show for it other than hopes and dreams. No, hopes and dreams. That's it. Now, in the next video, I will give you the bullshit story of how Echo Fang Grey Wolf came to be. And then that's going to be it. So, I mean, actually, you know, I could just do that here, and then there won't have to be another video. Yeah, we'll just do that here. Alright, so you might get 17 minutes versus 15. Echo Fang Grey Wolf is my stage name because James Williams Jr., my actual government name, wasn't getting any kind of work. Echo's not getting any work either, but I was getting less work as James than I was as Echo. Alright? Now, with my videos here, they're all under James Williams Jr. except for Into the Scarlet Spider, which is under Echo Fang Grey Wolf as my first film. I started to honor my native heritage by using the name Echo Fang Grey Wolf. Here's the bullshit story that goes with it. It's not real. The EFG part's real because it came to me while I was asleep. EFG. That's an easy way to remember because it's in alphabetical order. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Alright? Echo Fang Grey Wolf. Alright? Now, I've had many aliases over the years. My very first alias was Brandon Kramer, to honor Brandon Lee and Stephanie Kramer. Well, Stephanie Kramer's still alive, so that's out. Then I decided, you know what, because I listened to Stone Cold Steve Austin talk about how he legally changed his name to Stone Cold Steve Austin, had to get a new security number and all that. I was like, you know what, no, fuck that shit. I'm just going to go with my stage name. But Fang Fang was a name my nephew Ramin gave me, and that won't gonna work. I was like, well, I'm not Chinese, but people think that I think I'm Chinese. I am a martial artist that's mostly doing Chinese Kung Fu. Fang Fang would work. F-A-N-G F-E-N-G. Fang Fang. Then I decided, you know what? Nope, we're just going to go ahead and put James Williams Jr. in that cast list. Because that's going to be a hell of a lot better than trying to go Fang Fang when I'm not Chinese. Okay, so that'll work out. And yes, I know. I'm Asian enough to pass. But there's no Asian here. Anyway, so getting off of that, I decided to just keep my government name. Fuck it. You know, I'm going to be James Williams Jr. There's just a couple of itty bitty teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini problems with that. Tyler James Williams, everyone hates Chris. The guy from 21 Jump Street's last name is Williams. I'm like, well, goddamn. I'm kind of fucked either way. And then when I started going to casting calls, first I'm too short. And I just pretty much gave up on that shit. The last casting call I went to was before COVID struck. Where I had to do Gotta Have My Pops for a Pops cereal. And I didn't get to work. And I was like, okay, I went to the casting call. This is nothing. If you're going to be an actor, understand that rejection is 1,000% part of the job. There will be over 1 million no's before you get one possibly, and one maybe, and one yes. I have not gotten my yes, and I'm 52. Having given up, just now my car's broke down. So reality bites. Now, as the story goes on, I decided I'm going to play to my native character. And the main reason why I decided to do that is because it hit me a couple of months back, well, a couple of years rather. When I started doing it, it hit me a couple of years ago when I started going by Echo Fan Grey. The only reason why it hit me was because I was like, man, I can't get arrested as a black man, which is true. But I have been racially profiled over the last 2 years 7 times as an undocumented Mexican. It also started, things started playing back in my head. It's like, do people not see that I'm black? And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, it's a hardcore truth. No one has ever really seen me as black. That fucked me up. Because I was like, okay, well, that kind of explains shit. Because when I worked at Brown's, I worked with a Mexican. His name was Tino. And he asked me, because if he's calling my name, he's like, hey, James. But he wasn't calling me James, he was calling me Jaime. The last time someone called me Jaime, I was in my 20s. And I'm like, why is this motherfucker calling me Jaime? So I go over there, what's up, Tito? So we're talking. He's like, so you like Mexicans? Like, no, bro. I'm a black man. He's like, you sure? I was like, dude, I'm a mixed person. We are part native. We are part black. We are part white, but I'm not Mexican. It's like, oh, well, you look Mexican. It's like, yeah. Yeah, I know. You'd be surprised at how much I fucking know. But I don't speak Spanish. No habla español muy bien. And the whole thing behind that was, back in fucking college, I had a Spanish lady from Spain, and I was failing her class royally. And I was pulled off to the side, and she goes, Jaime, the answers are in the back of the book. And I was like, ma'am, I can't learn if I cheat. She's like, you ain't learning at all. And then she hit me with the ultimate line, which hurt my feelings a little bit. Kind of pissed me off. And she goes, Jaime, I've never met a Mexican that can't speak Spanish. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm not Mexican. She's like, what? I was like, ma'am, I'm not Mexican. Are you sure? I was like, ma'am, I know what color I am. I am a biracial, triracial person. I am part native. I am part black. I am part white, but I am not native to Mexico. My tribal family does not come from there. It's like, oh, all this time I thought you was Mexican. Ma'am, let me tell you something. If I was Mexican, I wouldn't need this class. Because every Mexican that I've ever met in my life speaks Spanish, but I'm not Mexican. So therefore, back to up-to-date speed. I was like, well, damn, I can't get arrested as a black man in the movies. So then I realized, let me see how many people who are mixed in movies that are played mixed characters. Well, this is where Lookership comes in. The guy who played in Prison Break, the younger guy, is supposed to be black, but he looks very, very white, so he's a quadroon or octoroon. He plays white guy all the time. Shout out to him. He was the guy who was Mr. Freeze in The Flash, in case y'all have no idea who I'll talk about. He was also the guy who played Chris Redfield in one of the Resident Evil movies starring Mila Jovovich. Now you'll figure it out. Just go Prison Break, younger brother. Now, other people outside of The Rock who plays mixed. There was a girl who was mixed that played in the Terrence Howard TV show with Jesse Smollett. She was mixed. She didn't look black, so they made her play a white person. And mixed characters who have made it, who look white passing, they play white people. And mixed characters who made it and they play black people because they look black. And then there's me, who can't get arrested because they don't make characters who look like me. Like ever in Hollywood. And if they do make a character that remotely looks like me, my boy Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson gets that. Because he's 6'6". You know? And then people of color have been mad and treated Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson like shit because they always claiming, you don't ever play a black character. You don't ever play a black character. And then the one time that he tried to play a black character, all the black people told him, you're not black enough to play John Henry. Give it to Michael Clark Duncan. Or Ving Rhames. But we can't give it to Dwayne Johnson, even though he wants to produce and play the movie. The whole reason he was making the movie was so people would stop saying that he doesn't think he's not black. Yeah. The Rock know he's black. The Rock really made that rap song, Black and Samoan in my veins, blah, 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 blah. What's my motherfucking name? Sorry, Rock, I don't know how all the shit that he said, but he's in the song. And he literally says, either black and Samoan first, or Samoan and black first. You know what? Hold on. God damn it. What is the song that The Rock sings with black and Samoan in my veins? Or is it Samoan and black in my veins?
The song you're asking about is Face Off by Tech Nine, featuring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Joey Cool, and King Iso.
Okay. The specific lyrics, because the specific lyrics are right there. It says, specific, black and Samoan in my veins. The Rock closes the track with this verse, which became a massive viral audio clip online. Full famous section. It's about the drive, about the power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in that work. Put in for hours. Take what's ours. Black and Samoan in my veins, my culture banging with strange. I changed the game, so what's my motherfucking name? Rock. And people gave him a hard time because he doesn't play black characters. And when he tried to play a black character, everybody spit on him. So there. Now, I mean, I can't get arrested playing a black character. They didn't want him to play a black character because he's not black enough. This is a thing in Hollywood. They don't write shit for mixed people. So that's why I don't have any work. Because I'm a mixed person. So help me God. If Marvel comes by and says, you want to play a Native American, I'm taking the job. Echo Fang Grey Wolf is ready to work. Point blank period. I've been ready to work for the last 30 fucking years. Just no one would give me a job. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. This is Kung Fu Africa number 2. Peace, seeing you.